Welcome to Both Sides Now, featuring the unconventional duo, Dr. Shirley and medium Kelly White. Two perspectives, one world. This is Both Sides Now.
Hi there. Happy New Year, everybody. Kelly, where did you go?
I don't know. I'm here. Can you hear me? Here I am. Hi, everybody. Like, wait a minute. This seems odd.
And John, are you here?
I am here, ladies. Happy New Year. Happy 2020.
Wonderful. Oh, I know. Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow is right. First, before we even talk about anything, John, how are you doing? Because John lost his mother, everybody,
Yes.
a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Each day is a different day, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And so it comes in waves, as I was prepared to handle. But, I can't thank everyone enough for their prayers and the love and the encouragement they've been sending. And it's definitely, I'm feeling it because I have a sense of peace about it as well, which is really, I think, I don't know. I don't know if that is, yeah, I've never really lost someone so significant in my life before. I mean, my dad died when I was 18, so but I wasn't as close as I was with my mother. So this is a, this is a new experience. But I'm thankful for what I've learned through this show as well. That's given me a lot of peace as well to know that she's on the other side, that she's happy, she's out of pain, and that she's free.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I can't thank you ladies enough for all your love and support.
And the show we did on anticipatory grief, I thought was really important for anybody out there who has a situation that maybe they're in the process of losing somebody, a loved one. Watch our show on anticipatory grief. It was very helpful.
Yeah.
So
well, and it's so right on what you said, John. It comes in waves, and you have to just notice it when it's there and feel it, and give yourself permission to feel it.
Yeah, I took a little time away from Facebook just because I kept seeing all kinds of articles about grief and dying and all of that. It was just triggering. But at the same time, a lot of that information was really helpful as well.
Yeah.
So I even learned about that there is actually a career that people are getting into called death doulas. Have you heard about this?
I have heard of that one.
Really?
Yes, I have, because when my mother passed in April of 2018, somebody referred me to a death doula, and I said, well, I think I can do it myself. But yeah, they're kind of important. Yeah.
I wonder, maybe we can do a little bit of research on that. What's the difference between that and hospice worker? Because they're kind of, they're there.
Yeah, I think they start a little beforehand, before the whole hospice situation. It's sort of a preparatory kind of thing, and they handle a lot of the arrangements with the family and the personal details and preparing the will and all that kind of stuff, and just really handling, different phases, I think. Yeah, but it's very interesting, and but I did learn so much through the hospice process, which we shared in the anticipatory grief show, and I'm just so grateful that I had you and I had this community to get me through it all, because I don't think I could have done it without it. I really don't.
Good.
Well, and Shirley and I had quite an extraordinary time.
Tell us about that. We saw some of the pictures.
Well, you go ahead, Cheryl.
I had just the best time ever. I mean, it's become one of my resources. In somatic experiencing, you choose things that when you think of them, they immediately cause you to feel calm. So when you're in an anxious situation or a scary situation, you bring it up to your mind's eye. Wisconsin, with you and Don now, has become that. And by the way, a shout out to Lee, Marlene, and Sandy. Sandy played Barry Manilow songs on the piano. Oh, I just wanted to melt, which I kind of did.
You did for New Year's Eve. And we had a party over here.
Yes, it was so fun.
For the new viewers out here, I'm born and raised in Beverly Hills, and now I live on a farm in Wisconsin for the last 6 months. It's kind of a strange, interesting road, and I'm loving every moment. So Shirley came out to visit me. So we were so glad you were here with us, Cheryl. It was a lot of fun.
It was just so much fun. I'm sorry I didn't didn't get a chance to meet Lee, but Sandy, it was so wonderful to meet you. And we had just a great time. I mean, all the musicians came out. Don's relatives are musicians, and they played, and Don played. Don is Kelly's husband, for those of you who don't know, and played the sax. I mean, it was just wonderful. I couldn't think of, to me, there's nothing better than music, so I couldn't think of anything better. Of course, not better than you, Kelly, but...
But we had a good time. We had a great time. It was a great way to bring in 2020, which is...
So tell us about the, I'm going to use a technical term, clusterfuck that we're about to embark on.
Oh, Cheryl. Well, okay. So I'm going to start with this. So today, ironically, today is an 11 day. Today's January 6th, 2020. It's an 11 day. So we're actually headed into these very, very epic energies. It's epic. What will happen in 2020? What will happen as we go into this week? There are three major things that are happening this month and in the next 2 weeks and this week. So I'll start here. Let's see, January 10th, that is our full lunar eclipse. Now, this full lunar eclipse happens on a 33 day. So January 10th, 2020 is actually a 33. Nobody's talking about it, but I'm going to be talking about it because January 10 is an 11 and 20 plus 2 is a 22. So it's a 33 day. So not only are we having a full lunar eclipse at 20 degrees in Cancer, but it's also a 33 day. So let me explain what this means. It's this solar eclipse, this full lunar eclipse. It's in Cancer. And so that would make it, for water, it's people, it's the Divine Mother, it's intuition, it's emotion, it's family, and it's challenging several planets in Capricorn: Pluto, the Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, and the South Node. It's very intense. So it's as if it's the mother energy versus the father energy. Cancer being the Divine Mother and Saturn and Capricorn being the Divine Father. There are rules, there are regulations. And then in Cancer, it's real emotions. So it's going to be a very intense time. That's just for this lunar eclipse, which is on January 10th.
Is there anything that we can do to prepare for it or to do that evening, set our intentions or anything like that?
Oh, I'm going to go through a bunch of stuff. Oh, yeah, Cheryl. But I just want to go through the things that will happen that we have coming up. So yes, there is definitely things. The interesting thing about this particular eclipse is that it brings everybody a second chance. You know how you get, like, let's say you didn't do something, you didn't work on yourself, which is what we're going to talk about, courageous choices later in a few minutes. But you'll get a second chance to do everything. And in some places here, you'll get a third chance even to do some things. So it's this eclipse is destabilizing. It's going to, like, whatever happens, it's going to be for the higher good of everybody. But it's a very tense time. Now, having said that, on January 11th, we have a full stellium in Capricorn. A stellium is when you have a cluster of 3 or more planets. This is the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node. So talk about destabilizing. It's at 20 degrees, 21 degrees, and 22 degrees, all on January 11th. Very, very intense. The South Node during that period, South Node is a karmic pivot point, if you will, and it's old wounds. So old wounds would come up. It's political, it's religious, it's future, it's past karma. So the North Node is in Cancer. The last time we had anything like this was during 9/11. So it's a very, very intense time with all of these intense planets all in Capricorn. Then the big thing hits on January 12th. So we're just talking just a few days from now. Right? It's the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that we've been talking about for at least this last year, and some astrologers have been talking about it for years. And Saturn and Pluto, the last time it was at exactly like this was like in the year 1518. I mean, it goes way, 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 way back.
Wow.
And what this means is it means a shift in consciousness. So there will be, when you have Saturn and Pluto at a conjunction like this is what makes this week so intense, this month so intense, and this year so intense. Okay. It's like you have to take responsibility for your own dark side, your own shadow side. When we've had shows where we've discussed everybody's got a shadow. So whatever is not right with you, you'd be taking responsibility for. It's dealing with anything that you have avoided, which is, again, well, we're going to talk about courageous choices, right?
Yeah.
So anything that you have avoided. It's eliminating anything egotistical. It's eliminating everything, because Pluto doesn't care. Pluto is death and rebirth and power and transformation, all for the soul's growth. It's an equal opportunity destroyer. It doesn't care. Like a good old
Wow.
personality disorder, Cheryl. It doesn't care,
Or a little like me.
Well, and then it's
Okay.
with Saturn, and Saturn is structures, it's systems, it's political, it's religious, it's money, it's hard work, it's law, it's responsibility, and it's discipline. So when you have those two at the same degree, I can just say it's going to be a very, very intense time. And what were we talking about earlier? I don't mean to do fear porn. Is that what we talked about?
Right. Yeah. Which I've never heard that term, but it almost feels like, before we go off that, it almost feels like they're opposing forces almost, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and fear porn is when you get kind of addicted to fear and you listen to it, or you go on the internet, and, to be in the know is, I think, important, but to overdo it, so you get, so your brain needs that stimulation, is not, because it keeps your body in a tense fight or flight,
Right.
pattern. And that's not good for your health, and not good for anything, really.
Right.
Yeah. So be very careful with that.
Well, and as James Van Praagh always says, there's only fear and love. And so we want to, during this period, and really as we go into this new 2020 means clear vision. It means that your own intuition, everybody's own intuition, is going to rise, because their vibration, your vibration is going to rise. It means to rise above the darkness. So will there be intense, this will bring a lot of intense change to our planet. It just will. And having said that, it's all because our souls chose to be here during this time, and ultimately it's going to bring harmony. Ultimately, that's what this is. This is a boost for our soul. So changes are going to be within, changes are going to be without. So we're going to go inside, and the changes are going to be outside of us. And you have, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so I wonder if this has something, related all to Australia and what's going on there. And I wanted to do a shout out to all our friends there. And, I've reached out to a few, hoping that they're okay. It's awful. It's so devastating.
It's awful. Yes. I would say yes, absolutely. It has something to do with that, Shirley. Yeah, a lot of change, a lot of transformation. And so this period of time, what it's good for is letting go of whatever has held you back from completing your mission while you're here on this dimension. And all of us have a mission while we're here. We don't just come here willy-nilly. We come here with a goal. We come here with a mission. And it's not just to buy that house and to get that degree and to make money. It's deep, much deeper than that. You come to learn. So what is your soul going to learn during this time? A lot. Your soul's going to learn a lot. Your soul's going to learn that there's no such thing as fear, and you're going to rise above it. This is a time for prayer. This is a time for meditation. These are all the things that you can do. You want to honor your life. You want to honor your soul. We're not here to fix any darkness. We're here to rise above it.
So I wonder if you're saying then that collective consciousness will fix the darkness in and of itself without having to do anything, directly about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with that statement. And then during this time, you want to think about, and for going on to 2020, think about what you can let go of. Whether it's an old wound, whether it's old trauma, whether it's an old relationship, an old job, an old whatever it is that you're holding on to, because this energy won't allow it. This energy will go. You'll start to feel it in your gut. I have to wake up now. Something is. I don't want this job anymore. I don't want this husband anymore. I don't want this. This whatever it happens to be anymore. This relationship. This whatever. All this change is going to start to. You'll start to feel it, and it's going to be a pretty intense month. Is where I'm going with this. But it's all about our souls came here to bring light. We came in here to learn different things. So when we go back home to the other side, not Wisconsin, when we go back home to the other side, we will say, look, I was there during 2020 because we all wanted to be here during this time. That's why we're here. We wanted to be here. So every time somebody gives me a hard time about it, I'm like, but you signed up. There's a booth. You signed up for and you said, I'm going to be here during this time.
We don't remember that now, though.
And that's the whole key. That's the whole key. And people are going to be waking up little by little. In fact, probably quicker than little by little. It's been little by little up until now. 2020 goes, poof, kind of just wakes everybody up. You'll start to hear people that you would have never imagined talking about spirituality. It won't be the hidden thing anymore. You know how back in the day, 5 years ago, it was kind of more of a hidden thing?
Yeah.
It's not going to be hidden anymore.
And Kelly,
It's good.
that video that you posted, that you shared about the volunteers, that was a really powerful video.
I thought so too, John. Well, maybe we'll make sure it gets reposted or something, or make a
Yeah,
note
I
of it.
posted it in the group. I'll make sure it's there again. But yeah, check out the video that Kelly posted about the volunteers, which is talking about the volunteers who went to Earth in order to orchestrate all of these changes that are happening here, and
Right.
courageous choice to do so.
And we were very courageous to be here. And here's the other thing about this new energies that are coming in. I mean, as we speak, it's a shift in consciousness. So everybody will start to wake up to wherever they are. They'll start to grow. You'll see them grow quicker. And often how we end up doing this is usually through a crisis. So will there be crisis coming up? Yes. Yeah.
As they often say, the breakdown before the breakthrough.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. But again, we're here to rise above all of that. And then, so you want to stay in a place of gratitude. You want to be grateful for, I don't know, watching a movie on Netflix. I don't care what it is. You want to be grateful for having a hot toddy at night. I mean, simple things, but you want to be grateful. Gratitude is everything. Prayer is everything. Staying in a prayer state of mind also. Not from a dogma place or a religious place, but it just as a reminder that we're not here alone, and we came here to bring light. And so, having said that, that's what this intense period is going to be about. Old wounds are going to surface. So Shirley and I want to talk about that, because when these old wounds surface, a good place for that to start with them is to actually look at them and go into therapy. Would you agree with that statement, Shirley?
Oh, absolutely. I've always said that we're here on Earth because according to you, we chose it, and we have to deal with the traumatic events that happen here on Earth. There's so many people that want to bypass it and go into spirituality only. And I can feel them just floating here without any grounding, or go into, I'm supposed to be happy and feel happy and not feel, but if we have to go through it in order to get to that, that is a wonderful goal to have. But there's no such thing as an easy ride. There just isn't. You have to go through healing of the wounds in order to be able to then be free of them and reach your potential and make changes and, do what you want to do, to live the kind of life you want to live. There's no way to get to pass that. There just isn't.
So there's no quick fix, is what you're saying?
There's no quick fix. There is no quick fix. And the thing is that things get worse. So whatever defense mechanisms you're using, they get worse as you get older, because it's the same pattern being used over and over again.
It's funny you said that, because the energies are so intense going from now on. that the old defense mechanisms won't work anymore. In fact, you'll say, God, this is such bullshit. Why am I even doing this? Everybody will have some sort of awakening on some level about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of awakening, look at Char's comment. She had a cornea transplant in September. She's been blind all of 2019 and looking forward to 2020 vision in 2020.
Wow.
Wow, Char, that's amazing. Wow. Well, your intuition will probably come through the roof because everybody's intuition is going to start to come up very quickly. And I would think that if often if you are blind, the other senses come up, and yours would probably go whoop through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's important to notice everything and also validate everything. We want to also talk about gratitude, and there was a message there that I saw was about being grateful, yes, and also noticing and validating the things that happened. I'm always saying we can hold 2 or 3 things, more than one. We can hold 10 feelings about the same exact thing all at once. We can, as an example that I always give, you can love your mom and be very angry at the things that she did that you weren't attuned to, or where it didn't meet your needs, or where it hurt you. You can hold both. So it's so important to validate everything and not just want to jump to only gratitude and not validate maybe, like John, the death of your mom and the sadness that brings. It's important to validate it all, not just the stuff on the positive side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with that, Karen. I feel your mother, John, she may have chosen to leave to help you during these upcoming intense times. I've thought that many times.
Oh, what a wonderful.
Have you noticed we're having a lot of people leave now?
Yeah.
I think the energies going forward are just too much for some people, for some souls, and that they would be on the other side better served helping. And I would agree with that, Karen, for John's mom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful gift if you think of it that way. I mean, that's what I've always been saying, is that she's in a better place now to be more involved with my life than she was even when she was here, because I was in California, she was in Ohio. We didn't get to see each other all that much. I mean, everything is sort of shifted in that regard, and that's a beautiful thing. And I want to remind people to check out that movie Astral City, because I think that movie, I always mention it, but there's a powerful scene in that movie where the world is going to war, and then you see all of these souls line up to come in to go to battle to comfort everyone, and to bring them into the hospitals to rehabilitate and heal all the souls that are coming in who are dying through the war. It's an amazing movie that really illustrates what goes on the other side in a way that I've never seen other than reading in books, through James books and different people's books. I mean, it's just, it really is an accurate portrayal in many ways.
Yeah.
It's called Astral City, so check out that movie.
Yeah. Wow.
So the topic that we were going to talk about, which we've certainly already talked about, is the courageous change, and how you go about, from a spiritual standpoint, why is change so hard? What would you say about that, Kel?
Well,
courageous choices,
change is hard for a lot of people. They have over fear, I would say, spiritually, because of fear. First of all, they have to wake up enough to be able to realize that they need to make a change. So fear would prevent them, or, sometimes people are in they're stuck. And so how do you get unstuck? Sometimes it's funny, a simple thing, a message from somebody. You might see a phrase that's kind of jars you. Our souls choose to wake up when we're supposed to. And I think a lot of souls are going to be waking up now and making different choices. See, once you wake up, Shirley, spiritually, once you literally have some consciousness about you, you might say, what was I was with this one? What was I thinking? Or I have this job, I can't stand it. Or something along those lines. Or I'm so angry at my blah blah fill in the blank, and I was abused, this happened to me. And then you have to once you get to that, you have to make some choices to get healing, to get some help.
Yeah,
So you
absolutely.
can let go of everything and move forward, which is why your soul came in. You can't get just stuck on what anything could get you stuck here. I mean, this dimension is full of sticky glue. Anything could get you stuck. Oh, it's a constant getting stuck. So you want to get unstuck so you can keep going, because you came here with a mission. The mission could be anything.
Yeah. But that's exactly what it is. It takes courage. I've always said it. Therapy is not for the weak hearted. It takes a lot of courage to go through that stuff and feel it in order to heal that wound. I just worked with someone today, and it was about, childhood stuff. And I went through it. I mean, once I learned SC, I've been in therapy off and on. Wow. I mean, since 2008, but it's the only thing that got me through. Initially, weekly, like one does, and then afterwards, just always kind of as a check-in.
Why don't you explain what SE is?
Well, somatic experiencing, which is the therapy that I do to heal kind of those trauma wounds, because they're all stuck in the body. And to sit there, I mean, I remember one session distinctly where I come from neglect, where just people weren't around and weren't engaging. And so as a little baby, you just kind of pop out of your, you dissociate, you just pop out. And I remember we were really getting into it and notice what's happening in your body. And all of a sudden I felt the suspension. I mean, I felt that I had popped out, and how terrifying that was. And so my therapist, you work with dual awareness. So, you're here, but you're grounded here, but you're also, and she said, okay, I'm here, stay with it. And I literally felt the terror. And so sometimes you ask, what happened right before? And right before it was this enormous amount of terror. And so I popped out, and I literally felt myself kind of floating. And so, but you have to feel that, you have to go through it in order to heal those wounds and have a better understanding. I mean, I think I've said it before. I felt better for taking up space in the world. My self-esteem was so on the floor. I could never do this, but I did tell myself a long time ago, I'm not going to let fear get in my way. I will never let fear stop me. And that was how I started doing the whole media thing with.
Tell us about that. It's such a good story.
Well, with what was the name of the show? I don't remember.
I don't either.
It was the first show that I did about the workout gal. I think it was called Workout, actually. Anyways, the producer lived up the street from me. And last minute, she said they'd done a season and they didn't think they were going to get picked up for a second, and they did. And on the show, she got into a huge fight with her girlfriend, who was a little bit, very dramatic. And they didn't want her to lose credibility, so they wanted to start the second season with her in therapy. So she asked me if I would do it. And of course, my first answer would have said no, but I remember that commitment I made to myself. And it's so funny what you were saying a moment ago. When you put it out there, I see it as when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I had put it out there, and all of a sudden this shows up. And I said, I'm not going to say no. So I didn't. And I thought it was one handheld camera because it was reality. And oh my God, no, it was lights and people and stuff. And I almost had a panic attack. And I thought, Cheryl, put your big girl pants on and you're going to get through this. And I was doing therapy. I was just focused in like I would focus on anybody else. And I didn't mind the lights and the things around me. And then other things came. And each time I wanted to say no, because being seen is so
you would fight through it.
I would fight through it. I made that commitment to myself. And once I decide something, I decided. And so whatever came my way, unless of course I thought it would be hurtful and I didn't believe in it. But that takes courage too. It takes a lot of courage. And then I started to, therapy and heal those wounds. But I think that's such a necessary thing to do.
Yeah, it is for growth.
Yeah.
If you want to grow here, it is. I remember when I was always a medium. When I was going to come out as a medium, it was really rough. That's a big one for the mediums out there.
It takes a lot of courage too.
Well, it took a lot of courage, and it took James to kind of kick me in the ass and push me. But aside from that, it was rough. Because I was scared. It's such a different way to be out in the world. Especially, I was a business person, and my background was business. So it was like, whoa, wait a minute. Talk about a shift. But if I hadn't done, I wouldn't have this growth. And so it's taking, risks. It's like I have this thing that says she went out on a limb, had it break off, and realized that she could fly. And that's really
wow,
what happened.
So powerful.
It's powerful, but
That
it's
is
really the
so
truth.
powerful. Yeah.
You just, and this year the energies are going to go whoop. I mean, all of a sudden you're going to be forced face to face, I should say, with a choice. And how are you going to make that choice? What choice are you going to make? Make it for the greater good for your soul, and ask your soul, ask your gut what is the right thing. And your gut's going to tell you what to do, because 2020 means to see things clearly. We've never had a decade like this going forward. This is a very intense time, and it brings great change. Question for Kelly. Last year, you kept saying 2019 is for transformation, and 2020 will be more clear year. How does that overlay what you're saying about the major changes coming up? Or did I misunderstand the whole thing? No, 2019 was for transformation, but nothing like 2020. 2020 is, whoo, big. Not 2019 got us up to where we needed to be, and 2020 now is just going to keep going. I didn't say it's going to be easy. There's no way. This is a very difficult year, I would say, for all of that. But everything is working upon itself, and 2019 got us to 2020, to where this major transformation will occur.
I think I remember thinking the same thing, and we talked about it. So 2020 doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it's going to be the transformative. So you do come out of it and you transform. Whereas 2019 was just more about just shift and change and chaos. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the whole goal of 2020 is to get us to 2021, because that's the goal here. Because December of 2020 is approximately about what they call the age of Aquarius. So to get us through this period, there'll be a huge shift this year, a shift in consciousness that gets us to the next level of 2021. Just like 2019 got us to where it was supposed to get us. It's a big road here that we're on. Susie, could someone's mission simply be to help others fulfill their purpose while in this realm? Absolutely, sir, Susie, absolutely. But then I suppose you may not know it was your role until you pass. Sometimes that happens, but often, we all are here to help others.
Yeah.
Really. And I think that's the most selfless thing a soul can do, is to help another. And so that could be your mission. Absolutely.
I think that and let me know if you agree, Cal. I think it's, if you feel fulfilled in what you're doing, then that's where you're at, and that's where you need to be.
Yeah, that's you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you up, your passion.
Yeah. Yes, passion is a big thing. And in fact, this year, everybody should have the goal of what they always wanted to do. That should be the goal. Like, make it some challenging goal so you can put your energies towards that. And maybe the goal is to really get deep help, and to get and so you physically feel better, you emotionally feel better, and you spiritually feel alive again. That's what this year's about.
Shirley likes to mention the curiosity.
Yeah. And I think that, yeah, to be curious about where you're at and what isn't working or what is. And I mean, to be curious in general, but curiosity, I remember one of my teachers told me, curiosity is the antidote to judgment. When we can be curious, even of our thoughts, if it's a thought that you're not happy with, to be curious is, why did I have that thought, instead of what's wrong with me? Why am I thinking that? It's a really different perspective to come at it with, because there's always a reason for everything. But you were going to, Kelly, talk about is there anything that we can do on the eclipse coming up now? And is it to put out there? I find every time I put something out there, it shows up, or different people show up that maybe say, hey, read this book, I think you'll like it, or look this up, and it takes me, and it kind of continues me on the path that I originally put out there that I wanted to be on.
We call those spiritual breadcrumbs, like the synchronicity from the universe.
Absolutely.
Every single time. And that's what I say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, even if it's, by teacher, I could show up as anything.
Well, I would say this: get out a piece of paper, everybody, start jotting down several things that you're going to do. Put down a goal. Think of a goal that challenges you. That's really important this year. I'm going to get more spiritual. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to, whatever it happens to be, I'm going to get psychological counseling, but put it down. The second thing is, start honoring your life. Honor your life. Like, you come here for a reason. I will honor my life, because often we live in a place here that people don't honor their own lives. They kind of just do and go, and they're not thinking. And then think about the third thing is, think about what you can let go of. What has been holding you back from your soul's mission? Think like that. If you need help with your mission, we'll do a show on that, and I can help people with their mission. But it's always something to do with love, gratitude, releasing fear, getting over fear, experiencing love.
So this is a good time for vision boards as well.
Great time for a vision board. Great time for that, John. Yeah, it's a great time for that. And then look at, what has held you back, and really be honest. I would say do an assessment. What has held me back? Well, was it the relationship? Was it my job? Were my kids? I understand that. Or what has held you back? Was it your parents? Was it, somebody did something to you a long time ago? And really be honest with yourself, and with no judgment, just no judgmental anything. Just start asking yourself. And these are the kind of things that will help you with this year. So keep a journal. Oh, here's another thing. Make sure you pay attention to those dreams. I had a dream, Shirley, the night before you got here, and I don't know if I told you this. It was you arrived a couple days, like the 28th?
Saturday.
The night before, I had a dream that this giant peacock, a colorful peacock, just showed up and just started talking to me. And a peacock is the phoenix rising, really. And I'm wearing the peacock colors.
Yeah.
I love it. But it just showed up and started talking to me. So I asked him in my dream, what are you here for? And he just said, it was a he. He said, oh, I'm going to help you with the path that you're on this year. I said, great.
Wow.
Okay, I'm ready.
Spread your feathers, Kelly.
Spread my feathers. I was like, wow, I'll be darned. It was a bright blue peacock.
So what's the difference between, let's say, internalizing by thinking your thoughts versus expressing them and getting them out, maybe through somatic experiencing, or really feeling what you're thinking? Shirley, is there a difference, or could you talk to us a little bit about that?
What do you mean by feeling what you're thinking?
Well, a lot of the time,
like a random thought that you have,
or just processing. Let's say when we're going into that introspection mode that Kelly was talking about, like, what is holding us back? Can we get in touch with that and release that in our bodies through somatic experiencing?
Absolutely, because there's a reason why it's holding you back. And so it's understanding, or even figuring out. I mean, I've done many sessions, and it happened with me too, where you don't know what it is, but you notice a feeling about something. Like, as an example, which isn't so much about change, but I remember, I am always wanting Sydney to go have an experience. I wanted her to go back east for college because I was too afraid to leave, LA, and I wanted her to experience that. And as she got to leave, I started to get anxious, and I almost had a full-blown panic attack. And I didn't understand it because it didn't make sense to who I am and what I believe. So I went to my somatic therapist, and she goes, okay. She goes, in her sweet little voice, she goes, imagine Sydney leaving. And I said, okay. And she goes, and what are you noticing? And I said, a tightness in my stomach, a panic. I'm beginning to panic. My heart rate is up. And she goes, okay, tune into that. And I did. And all of a sudden, the image of me as a little kid needing someone and someone not being there showed up. And so my words were, what if she needs me and I'm not there? And that's what I was panicking about. It had nothing to do with her. It had to do with my, projecting that onto her. And so then we worked through that, and then it was gone. So it's figuring out what is, if you have a thought, be curious about that thought. I know that they say thoughts are energy, but if we have a mean thought about someone, first of all, know that it's just a thought. Thoughts and emotions are like waves in the ocean. They pass. They always pass. So be curious about that thought instead of feeling embarrassed about it, or, getting angry at yourself for it. Is that kind of what you were?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because I know there's a difference between thinking your feelings and feeling your feelings. So I just wanted to kind of get into that through the somatic experience viewpoint.
Yeah, the body will always let you know what you're feeling. I remember for me, it was a whole new language. So I would feel a heaviness. Oh, I felt a heaviness in my chest. What might that be? oh, maybe it was sadness. I didn't know. I didn't feel the sadness. I just started to notice sensations. Before that, I didn't feel sensations. I was completely cut off. So it's a whole new language, but we're emotional beings, so we have to feel them. Otherwise, they show up in other ways.
Right.
It seems like some questions are coming up about moving and chapters ending where, people are exiting from other people's lives where they live, and then they're feeling like they need to search out new energy to reconnect to a community. So that seems to be coming up. We're getting a lot of comments. Some of these comments are really large, so I can't display them on the screen because I take up the whole screen. But we do see your comments. And I also want to let people know the phone line is open. We have 3 calls waiting, so let's get to those calls.
You bet.
But I do want to put up the number again for those watching. It's 213-893-4464. Just let me know the area code and phone number, meaning the first 3 numbers that you're calling from, just so I can find you in the queue and get you in as quickly as I can. All right, so we've got our first caller calling in from 772, it looks like. Area code 772, I believe this is in Florida. Can we have your name, please, and where you're calling from?
This is Shar Domke.
Hey,
Stuart,
Shar.
Florida.
Yes.
Hi, Shar. Happy
Congratulations.
New Year.
Hi.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys, I've been watching you guys for a while over this past year that I went through, losing my vision in one eye.
Wow.
And you guys have been like an awesome source of support for me. So thank you guys for being there.
Oh, you bet.
I'm just now starting to go back to work, which has its own challenges.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful, and I had that spiritual awakening. Definitely. I've had it many times before, but this time was really, really, really hard. It was very painful.
I can. Shar, what is your birth date?
Let a lot go. What, honey?
What's your birth date, Shar?
March 27th, 1977.
Oh, March 27. What year?
77.
77. Oh, remember that
And
show,
what eye was
77 Sunset Strip?
What eye was it, right or left?
It was my right eye.
Wow. Well, you come into this lifetime to end chapters. You came in to learn all kinds of things, but you would have had a more difficult life path because you would have come in to end things in this lifetime. It's like a soul graduation. So I'm gonna tell you congratulations, Shar. Really, quite a lifetime, because you came in to end things. And so when that happens, you would come in as a very serious person, which is a deep soul, deeply serious. You would have had different kind of experiences that would have led you to deep spirituality. And I would say that your faith comes from, it looks like you had grandparents that were really faith-based. Were they religious faith-based?
They were devout Catholics in Chicago.
Yeah.
That when they came from Germany, they recruited a lot of people to Catholicism, and they were farmers and donated their land in Chicago on the north side to Misericordia, to basically donations, to the kids that were disabled and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I got chills everywhere with these grandparents. Wow. That's kind of extraordinary. Wow. I think that they're giving you a lot of strength here throughout this period that you're in. And I think this is going to be a year for you, Shar, where you have a lot of light comes in for you, a lot of light. I don't think you're going to take any crap from anybody either. Not anymore.
No, I think I've been through it.
Yeah.
I think I've crossed that line where it's no, not anymore.
No, not anymore.
Because I think I came in being patient and compassionate and seeing other sides too much, more than the normal person.
Oh, for sure, because you're deep. You would go straight in. You only needed the one eye. You go straight in.
Yeah. I think things are a little different now.
That's symbolic when you
sure.
think of. I mean,
Very
you
much.
said that. Yeah, that's really symbolic when you think of that.
Interestingly enough, Carrie Gonya, our family constellation therapist expert, says the right side is dad. So I don't know if you had issues with dad or dealing with that. And also, to be blind in the right eye, that means it's symbolic. Of course, it's not what happens, but it shuts down your left brain. So maybe it was an opportunity for your right brain and that spirituality that you were talking about, Kelly, to help with that. I mean, I don't know, but that's
powerful.
That's what I thought about when you shared that with Ashar.
Yeah. Well, I'm a pharmacist, retail pharmacist. So, and I work long hours, and it's very, and I'm become like the breadwinner of the family. So it was very, just basically like knowing my role and going through the things and trying to take care of everybody, and nobody was, I took my 2 sisters in, their kids, everything.
Wow.
And I was the only one working, so, and I get them out of my lives and send them on their way. And, that kind of thing over this past year.
Because of what happened.
Just to me, like, yeah.
It's funny. I see it over and over again that what we may not be strong enough to do, and many times it's about setting boundaries and stuff, the body will then speak louder, and the body will bring something like, fortunately, what you experienced, Shar, in order to be able to force you to take care of yourself, whether it's physically or emotionally. How many people are, talk about burning, the candle at both ends, and then all of a sudden get the flu. And so they're forced to rest. The body will.
Right. I didn't have the heart to say no, and I had to. Yeah.
Yeah. If the mind won't do it, then for whatever reason, a lot of times it's because of, trauma and us believing that we're not enough or deserving, or it's about everybody else, and we don't get taught how to take care of ourselves in addition to, then the body will speak louder. I've seen it over and over again.
Yeah. Gosh.
Well, absolutely.
Well, thank you for calling in, Shar. Really appreciate this update.
Thank
We're so
you.
happy that the show has really helped
Yeah.
you and your journey. And just love this testimonial. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
Please stay in touch and let us know how you're doing.
I will. Definitely.
All right. Keep posting to the group. We love seeing you in there. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Love you.
Love you too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, so we're going to move on. We have only a short period of time left because Shirley's got to get running to a client after the show. So we're going to move on to area code 845, 389. You're on the line. Can we have your name, please, and where you're calling from?
Hi, it's my name is Doreen, and I'm calling from Saugerties, New York.
Hey, Doreen.
Hi, Doreen.
Hello.
Hi there.
So I have a question for you. This is the first time that I've listened to the show, and I heard James Van Praagh talk about it. I actually did a workshop last year with James, which opened up a whole new world for me.
I can imagine. Go, James.
Yeah, it was amazing, and it led me down a whole different path, different ways of thinking, communicating with spirit. I found out that I have some special gift that I never knew I had. And during that period of time when I was just opening up to all this, my dad was very sick, and he was in his 80s, and it was a very trying time for me because I was his caretaker. And then he passed this year, and so I'm kind of like in a kind of a stuck situation. I know that he's not really gone. I feel him close to me. I know he's around me. I'm always taking care of people. I guess this is my question. I'm always taking care of people. Like my whole life, I've took care of my mom. I took care of my kids. I took care of my dad. Everyone around me, my friends are sick. They're always in need of something of me. I'm an advocate for people who have Lyme disease. I have Lyme disease myself. And what usually happens is that I get so involved in taking care of other people that I get sick.
So, Doreen, what is your birth date?
12/20/59.
Okay. So happy birthday. You just
Yeah.
had your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason that you I can answer this pretty easily. You come in actually to sacrifice for others. That is your lifetime. So it sounds like your soul has done exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And I would say you've got to rest this year, take care of yourself in the sense that this is the year. And by the way, your dad and your mom are around. Your dad and your mom are around. Your dad would want you to continue, and he says to take care of you, to take care of you. There's a big thank you from him, and there was a lot of napkins or something. You must have done something with napkins because I see you fussing or something around him with napkins. I don't even know what that means. Napkins around this area. Were you feeding him too?
Uh-huh.
Because I want to hear a big
Uh,
thank you for that,
okay.
which just sounds like a funny thing to say. But there must have been, I don't know. Was he, did he used to wear a necktie?
No.
Okay, then it must be just the napkins. It's something about napkins all around him. I'm just getting napkins around,
Hmm.
which is weird. But anyway, this is going to be your year, honey. This is definitely going to be your year. It's a year that opens up a whole healing for you. This is going to be a year for healing for you because you have done so much for others. But you did come in to take care of others.
What was that?
I said I'm not, it's not, I feel selfish for wanting to move forward to do something for myself.
That was
Yeah.
going to be my question to you. How easy is it for you to let others take care of you? And that therein lies the lesson and the challenge is, can you do that? Because it's about balance. It doesn't mean that you stop taking care of people if that's your passion, that's what you love to do. But can you let others take care of you? Can you allow that to happen? And if you can't, I would be curious as to why.
It's going to be harder for her, Shirley. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder for you, Doreen, because your birth placement, your soul came in to actually take care of others. That's going to be the challenge, but you're going to be doing it anyway, taking care of yourself, if that makes sense. That's going to be her challenge, Cheryl.
Yeah.
And then
So
also,
this is the year for me.
Yes. You betcha.
but in order to be successful with that, I think looking into boundaries and understanding the boundaries, especially as an empath, because that's a really tough balance at times. So, we always say on the show, it's all about self-care because you can't pour from an empty pitcher. So it's really about, having that well of reserve within you in order so that you can give, but never feel guilty about taking care of yourself.
Well, and that's just it. We use that word selfish. There's nothing selfish about that. It's sometimes we don't have a container or a tolerance if we haven't experienced that a lot being taken care of. And so you need to build your tolerance for it, which sounds silly when you think about it that way, but you do. So even if someone smiles at you, how does that feel? Are you able to let it in? How can you tell? Usually when we take things in, it will feel like an expansion. There's just more room or a warmth or something like that. And so even the smallest thing will start to build your tolerance for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm starting to set boundaries now.
Someone in line, if someone lets you go first.
Easy. I've been giving.
No.
I've been very giving. So it's hard for me to move forward with it. But I really feel like this year I need to do something for myself because I just turned 60 and I've dedicated a lot of my time to everybody else. And I just want to start to enjoy my life a little bit. And, financially I can't do what I want to do, but hopefully this year will bring a little more, money into my life also. So I'll be able to do some things that I enjoy because I've never been able to afford them.
Well, make a list of everything you wanted to do this year and really put it down and then start feeling it in your body. As you were saying, Shirley, you literally feel it. I can do this. And if you start to feel a weird push, no, I can't, ask yourself why. Go into those feelings and then start moving forward because this is your year. This is a year for you.
And start valuing your worth. That's really important. You've been giving it away for free. So it's
I mean, that's just it.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to know that, it's important to know that you matter. And sometimes what helps shift that is imagining a little kid. Would you ever tell a little kid, hey, you don't matter, your needs are important, stop it? You would never do that. You would never tell a friend that. So then why do you tell yourself that?
Right.
Whether it's in words or your actions. That helps begin, when we take ourselves out of the equation, that helps begin to shift it just a little bit.
Yeah. And thank you for calling in. We're so happy that you were a first-time caller, and we want to suggest that you join the group if you haven't already. The Both Sides Now community group. That's our support group. You can get to that by clicking on the Both Sides Now page. There's a little button there that says Visit Group, and then also want to remind people to check out the archives because we have done over 100 shows now. And so there are many, many different topics that we go into more detail about the boundaries issue, the self-worth issue, so lots of these topics that we have touched on tonight are covered in detail as well on our YouTube channel. So check that out.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Good. You take care, sweetheart. All right.
Yes, you too. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And to you.
All right. So we are almost out of time. I just wanted to give people a notice about that because we have about 5 minutes left to wrap up.
Do you want to take that last call? Is there
we can take one more call if the caller makes the question very succinct, and so we can get to it.
You got it. So let's go to area code 805. Let's see if this person is still on the line. 805 from Thousand Oaks. Is this Susie?
It's Susie.
Hey, Susie. Happy New Year.
Hi, Susie. Happy New Year.
I was just Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy New Year.
I just noticed the courageous choices, and I've made a lot of courageous choices throughout my life, especially after I lost my mother back in 79. I always told myself that I would never, ever, ever let anybody treat me like crap. She basically died from domestic abuse. And I always told myself I would never let anybody abuse me like what she went through in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
And lots of years of therapy, many, many years of therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still in it occasionally, but
absolutely. I love it. I'll be in it forever myself.
Yeah, you mentioned that saved your life earlier in the comments, Susie. What particular therapy worked for you?
What type of therapy?
Yeah.
Just a lot of talk therapy. Right now, what's helping me the most is I'm in the gym a lot, and that's where I work out a lot of anger. I work out a lot of feelings. I work out a lot with my personal trainer. And it's like I get two things in one when I'm there that helps me level.
Good.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and that's
Did you have a question?
Too, right? Working out the mood enhancement.
Exactly.
No.
Did you have a question for us, Susie?
I just wonder if you guys had any idea what 2020 has in store for me. I'm going to turn 60 also in a couple months, and
we'll call this the year of Susie. Susie 2.0. That's going to be a year where you let go of all kinds of things that are no longer serving you. So go ahead. I mean, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Keep going.
Get on that horse and ride.
Get on that horse. Keep going.
Well, I got to find another place to go work with horses because that's my real dream.
Yes.
There you go. And then write that goal down. If that's your dream, this is the year to start activating that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do it before I get too old to be, not be able to do it.
That's very true. And that's very true because we have time here, meaning that in this dimension, there is time. So there's only so much time. So we're always kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Whoops, what am I waiting for? There's only so much time that I will have in this body. Think like that.
And also, just like you said, let go of all my family that hurt me. Just let them go. They're not.
Yeah, we're going to do a show on dysfunctional families, right, Cheryl?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy because we're made to believe, well, they're family. Well, it's your mother. Well, it's your, and maybe because of my left brain or how I was brought up, I don't care what role someone plays in my life. If they're not kind and someone that I want to be around, then they're not in my life. And it's not easy. I'm not making it sound like it's easy. But it's
physically they're not in my life, but emotionally I still feel attached.
Yeah, the cords.
So then that's something to work through in therapy. There's a few wonderful somatic therapists in Thousand Oaks. If you're not still working with your therapist, because the connection, and the relationship is a very important piece. Yeah. Secondary is the training, but if you're not working with your therapist still, then I would go to the maybe you can put it up there, John, the SETI website, and find a practitioner in your area.
Yeah. Hi, Stacy. That's nice. Stacy's first time watching.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
All our new first timers, and thank you, James, for the big shout out earlier today.
Yes.
It's so wonderful of you to do for us. Appreciate that. Lots
So
of wonderful comments.
Keep us posted, Susie, with how you're doing this year and what the changes that you're experiencing. Please stay in touch with us. And unfortunately,
I will do that. Hopefully it's all positive and nothing negative. I don't need any more negative.
Yeah.
Stay in the positive, rise above
I will.
Sweetie. All right, Susie, thank you so much. We're running out of time, but we really appreciate you calling in, hon. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. So we are at the end of the show, folks. We do want to encourage you to check out our group, Both Sides Now TV community, that is visible by clicking on the Both Sides Now TV page. There's a button there that says visit group. Go ahead and send us a request and we'll get you in the group. Ladies, happy New Year. Thank you so much. It was a great show. Had some wonderful comments, a lot of calls, a lot of comments, and we just ran out of time, but we will be back next week doing the same thing, and we'll announce the show topic very shortly.
Yes.
Take care,
Happy
everybody.
New Year, everyone, and
New
thank
Year.
you for watching. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now, featuring the unconventional duo Dr. Shirley and Kelly White. Two perspectives, one world.